Aloha, I'm Jason Blake, the Medicare Geek. For all the information you get now, if you need to see it in written form, you can email me at themedicaregeek@gmail.com and I'll send you a copy that you can print out in more legible writing, since handwriting is not my strong suit, but Medicare sales are. So you're a new agent, you've got your first appointment. What do you do with that appointment? So I'm going to go through these 13 possible steps really quickly. If you are a subscriber to themedicaregeek.com, or you are an agent who's licensed under us, you can get video that details more of these things step by step, but for now I'm just going to cover the basics. First thing is meet and greet. If you'll see in the parentheses it says not a warm-up. There's a real reason I like to delineate between being a meet and greet and it's a professional relationship where you're going to make product recommendations to people versus a sales experience where you're warming them up and getting into their personal information. Your doctor, when you go to meet your doctor, they don't feel the need to become your buddy and your friend. They're a professional who's there to help you, and you should consider yourself the same thing. How can I help? It's a great resetting question. At the beginning of every appointment, I say, how can I help? If I need to, I take a couple of notes. Whatever the people's concerns are, along with areas of concerns I see, I make sure I address the things that were on their mind at the beginning. Needs analysis. I'll discuss this in more detail. This is not for an underwriting reason, because we can't do that, but sometimes you want to know who the people's doctors are, what medications there are, their preferences about the types of services they'll receive, where they'll receive them. Asking some really good questions that I'll give to you in a later video will help you point them in the right direction. Scope of appointment, SOA. If you don't know what this is, you probably need to slow down on the training and review some of your AHIP stuff or some of your carrier training things, because this is a key part of Medicare sales presentations. You have to document the permission to meet with people and go over benefits for specific products. Generally speaking, the easiest thing to do up front is to make sure you have their permission to talk about Medicare Advantage plans, talk about Medicare supplements, and talk about standalone Medicare Part D plans. If you cover those at the beginning, you usually don't have to worry about anything else. Sometimes you're going to want to do a reboot of the video, 2 ways to get Medicare, because you're either going to want to explain to people why you're pointing them toward either a Medicare supplement or toward a Medicare Advantage plan, or you want to go over that and let them choose between the two. If that's necessary, you'll insert the information from the earlier video on that there. Product recommendations. After you've done your needs analysis, you've looked at everything, you've maybe gone through Medicare.gov and figured out which company their drugs are going to be cheaper with, whether that's a Medicare Advantage plan or a Part D plan, then you make your product recommendations. There may be a clear winner. Usually I start with makes the most sense, and I say, hey, part of my job is to be cheap on your behalf and save you the most money. I start with that, and then I'll give them kind of a choice close. If you'd like to do something a little more Cadillac or a little more comprehensive, you could maybe do this Medicare supplement, Plan G, and this drug plan. Usually I'll stick with one though and ask them if they'd want to see anything else. People are usually comfortable as long as I've done these early steps good enough. Summary of benefits and required documents. As you learn with each carrier, there's a way you have to go through each presentation. You have to at least cover the summary of benefits and details. You have to talk about CMS STARS scores. You have to make sure that they understand non-discrimination stuff. You want to go through the required documents in a way that is compliant for the carrier that you're working with. Some carriers are going to have extra steps they require, like if you're recommending a PPO, they may want you to show them their branded little video, 5-minute video about a PPO, or a little PowerPoint presentation that explains how their plans work. If that's required, then make sure you're compliant with that. After you've explained everything, any questions? I have a superpower trick that I call the anti-close. People do not want to be closed in this day and age. They want to be informed and given choices. And by me not trying to close people, by using a technique that I'll explain for subscribers, it's actually I push away the close, which makes people then close themselves. This will save you and them time and attention. Take the application. I usually like to do it electronically if I can, because you can usually upload it directly to the carrier. You know it's been handled. You can do paper applications. It depends on the carrier you're working with. Next steps, usually good to close it up, what they'll receive from the carrier, when their ID cards will come in. If they've been paying for a different insurance that'll conflict with this, make sure you give them ideas on making sure they cancel that so they don't have 2 insurances at the same time. You kind of want to tie it up and help them as a consumer. And then I don't do this so much because I have such a large book of business, but if you're a newer agent, you may want to be focusing on selling as many different products to the same customer. So probably as you've gotten to know them, maybe a little bit about their income, the way they live, you may think, well, this person's a good candidate for long-term care insurance, or this person may want final expense insurance. This person may want a hospital indemnity policy. You may not know what any of those things are right now, but a good thing can be, instead of making them doubt the choices they've already made, give them something to think about next. So in your arsenal, you may say, hey, you know what, this person probably wants a hospital indemnity policy. You might say, hey, here's a brochure on something that might be helpful with this plan we've chosen, and we can talk about that in a few days if you'd like to. That way, they're already thinking about what they might else do to protect them. So these are the basics of a perfect Medicare presentation that will get you more sales than any of your competitors. You can divine these on your own, or you can subscribe to our website or contract with us, and you will learn the intricacies of each of these steps and how to succeed as an agent. Thanks for watching.